Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Hey everybody, what's up? Cowboy here. It is 8:30 a.m. EST. Got a little bit late of a start. It's actually 8:33. Had a little technical glitch with my sound. And an interesting look on Bitcoin right now. We have a little bit of back and forth. We're in the world of Trump where he says something and the markets go crazy. And the same thing applies if I flip the charts really quick over to the stock market. Now, it does appear that the stock market is seeing a bit more blood as compared to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is kind of popping up, popping down, popping up. And then if you look at the SP 500, it's just crushing down. And if we look especially to the NASDAQ, that's what we really want to look at when it comes to what Bitcoin might do, is to look at the NASDAQ. So first, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin right now, and then we're going to take a look at the NASDAQ, and we're going to see if we can determine what is going to happen next with these charts. So this is the daily chart right now. And I can tell you that it's a bit flat. If I were to kind of flash up to the weekly, everything looks honestly like it needs to still reset. I don't think it's time for us to go approach those all-time highs yet. It would take a pretty strong amount of bullish pressure to get price back up above 106,000, up above this multi-month consolidation that we see here. And of course, we have our all-time high. This high here is not the all-time high. It's 109,000. It's really 108,700, whatever it is. And then you have your all-time high. That's almost 110,000. What is this? 109,800, something like that. And I don't think we're quite ready to approach that. I think price is going to do one of a few things right now. This is the daily chart. So each one of these candlesticks is a day's worth of price action. Okay. And what I do expect to see here is for Bitcoin to make a decision up or down. At the very moment, it is a little bit bullish on the near term, right? On the short term, it's bullish. The big question right now is, will 90,000 be reclaimed, right? Will price go and push above this 90,000, really 90,500 mark? And that's the bottom of this large consolidation. It's where prices flipped back and forth many times going back to November. Now, the Trump pump that happened on Sunday, when he just decided on a Sunday to go ahead and, make some announcements about crypto for whatever reason. I can't imagine it was anything good. I think he just probably pumped it to make money. Sorry, I like Trump, but he does shit like that. And you see this big, massive candle upwards to 95,000, which price retraced after that. Now price has gone up to about 90,000. And if you look at the price action right now, it is encountering some resistance here. And this is on the 3-hour chart. And we have about an hour and a half left in this candle. So I'm not saying it's going to definitely reject and head down here. I'm saying that there is a history of price doing that, though. If you look back here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 very strong times when price has rejected either upside. And when you have a lot of upside rejections coming from the other direction, it's very possible to see a downside rejection, because when you have this, you have a bit of a lack of liquidity in that area. And so if price approaches that, it's likely that it will get rejected. Now, for the moment, looking at the algos, I can say that there is a little bit of bullishness going on. There's always that possibility that 90,000 gets reclaimed, but I don't have the information, the data to really strongly say this yet. But if somebody asked me, what do you think is going to happen? I think there is going to be a rejection to the downside, and that'll happen anywhere between let's say 90,500 all the way up to 95,000. I think price will reject right where it is and start to head down. It might go sideways a little bit and then do so. It might pop up into this area and then do it. It might even make it to the top of this prior high here from the Trump pump and do it after that. But right now, as it stands, I don't expect price to do that. Now, I'm not having shorts ready to go. I'm not making the orders yet. I have methodologies that say, okay, it's time to enter a short. Those haven't happened. But it's right now, from what I'm seeing, from what the algos are saying, Bitcoin is going to have a hard time pushing past 90,500. And if it does get past that, it's going to have a hard time pushing past 95,000 or so. Now, that's just what it is right now. As price goes into that area, that can change, and we will be monitoring. Now, let's take a look at Solana. Solana is really not showing the same kind of resilience as Bitcoin. You can see that my prediction of a move back down was pretty accurate here. And right now it's just going sideways back into this lower consolidation range that is between 150, really 148 and 130. So as it stands right now, there's a decent chance that price is going to reject and still go sideways. I don't see any reason for price right now to really get out of this range right now. Very plausible that Solana could stay below 150 and above 130. And that's until Bitcoin really makes a choice. And as I said before, we do want to take a look here at the NASDAQ because tech stocks are very similar, in a price action standpoint. From a price action standpoint, tech stocks are going to sort of reflect what Bitcoin might do and almost kind of lead it. Now, I did predict that we would see a slide down in tech stocks, and that's what we've seen. We had a little bit of wild price action going on. We have news coming out, tariffs this, AI that. But in reality, price is more or less doing what I said it would do on the Sunday video. And those Sunday videos are really not meant for, hey, trade this or anything like that. We never give investment advice. They're just meant to show which way the wind is blowing. And that's like, hey, if no crazy things happen, this is what I think will happen. And right now, the world is fraught with crazy. But even with the craziness, you do see price kind of reapproach a lot of times what I drew. So it might deviate away from that and then come back to that. It's a pretty common thing right now. Lisa, good morning. Always good to have you here with us. Thank you for the kind words. So yeah, as it stands right now, from an algorithmic standpoint, the Nasdaq does want to continue down. There is some pressure to kind of hold it from really going down hard. It's going to want to continue to grind down as it is, and it is below this important support, right? It's actually right at the support. I shouldn't say it's below it. It's been below it recently, but an important support of the Nasdaq is about 20,400, and price is pretty much right there now. It's a little above that, but price is kind of grinding down towards that. So if price can break below that level, which again is 20,400. The next level I'm interested in for the Nasdaq is 19,900, and price may make its way down there and then perhaps bounce, and we have our next trade. So that is the Nasdaq as it relates to Bitcoin. Again, the Nasdaq and what it's doing seems to lead Bitcoin more or less. I can overlay Bitcoin right now just to show it to you. Let me do that. Okay, that it's taking its time to show up there. There you go. So the pink here is Bitcoin. So as I can kind of stretch this a bit and show you that, the Nasdaq might deviate a little bit, but the general price direction is going to more or less match up with Bitcoin. And it does seem, at least from this chart, that the Nasdaq is either happening at the same time as Bitcoin or leading it, or even sometimes Bitcoin leads the NASDAQ. But this big move down, certainly the NASDAQ led that and Bitcoin followed afterwards. So it's just a really good gauge to take a look at that NASDAQ when you're trying to figure out what might happen with Bitcoin. If the NASDAQ does something crazy, Bitcoin's probably soon to follow. So I guess that's what we have time for right now. We are at the 10-minute mark or so, then I'm in a mark. So I'm going to go ahead and move it over to the private live lab. Just want to remind everybody that over at Algo Factory, we teach people how to trade like a hedge fund pro, right? Because there's people who, they learn some basic stuff. They learn how to, look at basic indicators, or they learn how to trade. They get the technical stuff. They understand some basics, but what they're missing are a couple of things. One of the things they're missing is the ability and understanding of how to treat trading like a business. And that's a big thing that people miss, right? They don't understand how to, conservation of capital, trading psychology, a lot of things that are going to keep you alive and not blow up your account. So we teach you all that stuff, and we teach you how to build a good trading method, a good trading algo. So come to algofactory.tech, trade like a hedge fund pro, and never ever forget.
Join us or die.